Hello, good afternoon, you guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the chat, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps keep the video in the algorithm. So make sure you guys please like, share, subscribe, comment, and all of those wonderful things. Okay. You guys, I want to talk about a Memphis and Shelby counties jailer has been arrested for allegedly raping an inmates. Okay. I want to get to this. I was intending to talk about this the other day. Okay. Let's see. Here it is right here. Y'all see all the candles I be ordering. I have to show up.
Granger offers professional grade products, easy ordering, and next day delivery, making them the go to play for everyone keeping arenas game day ready.
Hold on. We're going to let that commercial go
Where
out.
Shelby County Corrections deputy now faces rape accusations. Investigators say Janisha Rucker had a sexual relationship with an inmate inside the Shelby County Jail. Authorities say they received a complaint back in February where she was placed on leave and later resigned. Rucker had been on the job for 2.5 years. Along with rape, she's also charged with official misconduct, sexual contact with prisoners, and forgery under $2,500. She remains in custody on a $100,000 bond.
Okay. Now, this is like and this is allegedly, okay. This is like the second or third time something like this has happened. Okay. I don't know what is going on. I mean, but I'm just talking about within a couple years, like 3 year span. Okay. Because it has, even when I was working for the sheriff's office, it would happen. I remember there was a young lady who had actually been on for a long time. Normally, when they've been working there for a while, they don't fall prey to an inmate that can do nothing for you. Okay. These inmates want to try to sweet talk these women, okay, so that they can get favors. What has started happening as of recently, you have young ladies that get jobs, okay, um, and to especially when their boyfriends go off to jail, just so that they can work in these facilities, especially if they're going to be there for a while. And the Shelby County Jail is not a permanent place. It's like a holding place, while you're going back and forwards to court. And then once you're sentenced, you they either give you time served or you go on to the facility that you're going to serve your time out in. And sometimes you could be there for a year while you're waiting for court or longer. Okay. Um, or yeah, maybe more than a year, 2, 3 years while you're waiting for your court date. But sometimes these young ladies get these jobs so that they can go up into these facilities and service their men. Some of them fall prey to these men. They sweet talk them. They're their cell. They are their man in their cells all day, and for some reason, I don't know what is going on. They let a person who ain't got nothing but time on their hand sweet talk them, okay, and trick them out of everything, okay. See, I notice like the bonds are higher. I don't know. This is a hustle. It's becoming a hustle now, because what has been happening is these young ladies they start messing with these inmates, and they're actually having sexual contact with them, with these inmates. Okay, wherever they find out where there is like a blind spot as it relates to some of these cameras, and I mean they getting it in, right? And so now the inmates know that um, they can file a lawsuit. Okay, that is, even if it's consensual, it is still considered RAPE by a authoritative figure. So I think these inmates now are, because there have been two other inmates to file lawsuits, and from my understanding, one quietly settled. Now you talking about a damn thug who ain't got a damn thing, and these girls get these charges, had the stuff on their background, lose their livelihood. Not unless they're in on it with them, but I mean, not unless they're in on it with them. And so her bond is 100,000. I see now they're taking it more seriously because they've been getting hit with them lawsuits, and I'm willing to bet that this joker right here is going to file a lawsuit. I don't know if this is a game and some of these women are in on this with them, but I think that they're just suckers. They are letting these men make a fool out of them. What can an inmate do for you? Okay, an inmate that is locked up. Okay, he ain't got nothing but time and game. Okay, he ain't got nothing but time and game. And so you would think that some of these women, you have to have a really strong mind to work in some of these facilities. And I understand people go through depressional stuff because men have lost their jobs dealing with prostitutes, over at the female jail. As a matter of fact, Shelby County jail at one time didn't even allow men to work over at Jelly's facility, right? I think now because of the shortage, they've had to start letting a few start doing it, but they try to keep the men away from the women because it was happening way more. Now they got to keep, you talking about this young lady's 28 years old. You're talking about a new breed of people who don't care about nothing. Okay. So, and hey, the inmate could be lying, but she resigned. That's the first thing they do when they have them on leave, right? While they investigate, it's paid leave. They'll resign to keep from getting fired or to try thinking they're running from the issue, right? And what had been happening is when they resign, like what happened with Stray Drop situation, when the girl was down there, when Moneybag and Juke them should have sent her to get the BBL, and she was because she was transporting some stuff, and then she went and they let her come to a parties and set up a liquor bar and all of that, was having a house built from the ground. She quit, and I don't think that they pursued when they caught her twerking. It was two of them actually, that was down there with him twerking. The one that they bought was buying the house for her, and then they let her set up in money bag parties and stuff. Um, she went ahead and quit, had her house built from the ground and all of that. And when she was down there twerking for Straight Drop, they didn't pursue the charges on her after that. And it happened with another young lady in a different situation. But now they shooting fire up under their tails, okay? Because they getting these lawsuits. These inmates gotta hustle, right? And so now they're shooting fire. They're being forced because they're losing money to take this seriously as they once did before. So she thought she would be able to run too and just quit and they wouldn't pursue the charges, but she's still in jail, okay, on $100,000 bond. And they put all types, I mean, and I'm sure this joker right here gonna file and gonna win. Because even though it was consensual, it is still considered RAPE by a authoritative figure. Okay, even though he was wearing her out, okay, more than likely. Um he what's the word that I'm looking for? He initiated this because she was doing favors. They said she forged some for $2,500. Okay, I'm sure as it relates to this situation. I was looking for the um thing, the affidavit, but I couldn't find it. Now, on the other hand, inmates do lie. Okay, inmates lie. It could have been a situation where two inmates got together and decided that but they gotta have some type of video or something to have charges. They said she was indicted by a grand jury, but anybody can be indicted by a grand jury. So they must have had something, but inmates will get together and they will lie. Okay, so maybe this was a situation where the inmates then got together, they decide they're gonna lie so that they can file a lawsuit, because that is absolutely what is coming next. If that's the case and she quit, most people don't quit. Why she run? She should have stayed. Okay. And I guess she didn't. Why? I mean, if you know you're innocent, you stay. But most people quit because they know that they're going to be fired. And they feel like, well, if I quit, I can just go get another job at another jail. Okay. It won't be on my record. Because these inmates have been filing these lawsuits and breaking the county because these women wants to coat the inmates. All the men are, if you just want a no good joker, it's millions. You can get them you can get them a penny a dozen on the outside. They come by the pound, okay? On the outside, a penny a dozen, penny a pound. Why you want to go into the jail? And I'm not just talking about this young lady because she's innocent until proven guilty. Okay. Um, why you want to go into the jail and let a person that can't do nothing for you can't that's trouble already. That's trouble. When you start entertaining these inmates, that's trouble. That's gonna take away your livelihood. Okay. Looking at taking away her quality of life, really. Because she might have to do some time. You know, she's already still in jail. She went from being on the outside to being in the inside. Now she over there at jail lease. And it don't. I mean, they ain't let her go yet, but she do got $100,000 bond. Okay, but if it's just so happens to inmates because they got plenty of game. Folks sit up and try to figure out now how to get scheme and get over on people. Okay, they don't want to work. They don't want to work. Okay, they want to try to sit up and figure out a way on how to scheme and get over. When I mean, if they use those scheming skills that they had, they'd be millionaires if they use those scheming skills that they had. But hey, this is something. Like I said, I didn't see the affidavit is not uploaded, but I you know I really don't understand it. I can remember when I was working in the chief's office, and young lady had been working for the sheriff's office she was a jailer. She was a veteran. She had been there 12 or 13 years. A inmate came through there for drugs that was looking at many, many years. Okay. Um, and she fell in love with him. Nobody could understand that down there as said fell in love with him. She was a very outspoken very outspoken lady. She didn't seem like the type, real bold and outspoken. She didn't seem like the type that would fall prey. She fell in love with the inmate. People found out about the relationship. Now it's something how what people find out about the relationship. Evidently he must have been saying something. And she ended up quitting her job, her good paying job, so that she could be with him. Okay. Anyways, years later, I think he did a little bit of time and he got out. But when he got out, he went back to his baby mama. Because see, she couldn't do nothing for him other than constantly, after she left, she couldn't do no favors for him no more like he wanted. And she could get put money on his books and stuff. And I remember she called the head chief at the time. And I could hear her he had her on the speaker, and she apologized to him. He made her feel so bad because a couple years after she left, so she could carry on her relationship with him, talking about they was engaged. He got out of jail and went back to whoever he was with when he came up in there. Okay. And she called the chief and apologized to him. And she was going over a whole lot of stuff, regrets and stuff like that. And he was real nice to her, but people just couldn't understand that. A joker that's already in jail for committing crimes. You know, that was not, and you are, an established person, somebody that can't do nothing for you, already in and out of trouble, can't do nothing but bring um, problems to your life, right? And that's just in there because I mean, already full of game. That's all they got is their words because they ain't got nothing else. Okay, while they up in there, and so now You starting to see it more and more. A lot of the old heads are retiring from up out of there, and from up out of the sheriff's office, and you got a lot of new. I'm talking about in the jail. You got a lot of new younger people coming in that don't take anything seriously. Feel like just because they want to do something, they should be able to do it. They don't think about the consequences, which is crazy, out of this world. Oh my God, you just don't let nobody trick you out of your position. Okay. Especially when you're talking about she might have kids and everything, you got to take care of your kids, but they have been going so light on some of these people until that these inmates getting smart and winning these lawsuits, because it is against the law for a jailer to be having sex with a inmate, because as because it is considered rape, even though he was willing and initiated it and everything. And then now what they're doing is, these inmates are doing is, once they trick these women into sweet talk them, and they weak enough to be able to trick them into start having sexual relations with them while they're in jail, they turn around and file a lawsuit. Okay, they tell and then they file a lawsuit. Okay, so anyways, it's crazy, but like I said, she's innocent until proven guilty. But ladies, and I know I ain't never had no situation like that. I've never been interested in no inmate. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I remember I used to love to wear real high heels and stuff, and they didn't allow us to wear our toes out. And I remember when Chief Moore got into office, we wrote up a memo and stuff, and we asked him um, if we could if he could change the policy on that. And so he changed the policy. He started allowing us to wear like peep toe heels and stuff. I remember I was walking through Ad Seg one day, and this inmate that was, I believe it was honoring them, they was taking him back to his cell, child. He about had a fit because my toes was out. It scared the mess out of me. And I remember I went down to the annex one time because I used to be over the United Way, um, taking up donations and things of that nature. And I went down to the I went all the way down to the annex, and I had my toes out, and this inmate was standing. I noticed when I turned around and looked that he was standing real still, just real close up against the door, just up against his pod door, like he was just standing real still. And I was like, I turned and looked at him again. I don't know why. And the officer that I was standing there talking to, she said, "Girl," she said, "You going to the hole?" Child, he was standing up in there whacking off. Okay, whacking off, looking at my toes. So that's one of the reasons why they didn't like for the toes. It's some sick cookies that come up through there. I don't know why them women want them. Okay. Oh, big old crusty. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyways, y'all, ladies, you gotta do better and know your worth. I'm not saying she did this. Inmates are liars. Okay. They could have easily lied on her, but she got a grand jury indictment, so they must have had something. So I guess we don't know the whole story right now, but I'm just saying, okay. Anyways, y'all, I just wanted to talk about that. Ladies, know your worth, do better. Um, I get you somebody that's gonna treat you right and do you right. Okay. People are so, I don't know. I think a lot of people are in need of something. Okay. Um, I'm attracted to men that are providers. I always have been. I like to be able to like vibrate in my feminine energy, knowing that I got a man that's got me, that he gonna take care of that. He got that. Okay, but unfortunately, you have a lot of men now, a bunch of damn sissies. They like to vibrate on a on and they want to do everything the women do. Okay, how come you can't do it? Take care of me like that. I want to get my nails and toes done. They want to do everything the women do. Bunch of sissies. Okay, so But when you find those, because there are still men that are, they're just masculine. Okay, it's just natural for them. They just radiate in their masculine energy. Okay, and they want a woman to stay in her place, and that is in her feminine energy, and they make it so that she can do that. Okay, they ain't sitting with a damn big ass pamper on waiting on her to handle everything. Okay, that's a good way to get your stress yourself out real bad and have you looking like you 50 in his hands and stuff. You touch his hands and his hands soft, his fingernails and shit all long. Okay, I don't like them when they like that anyways. Okay, because he ain't got no damn business with long fingernails. That means he ain't doing shit. Okay, so but know your worth. There are a lot of good men out there. Okay, and practice being in your feminine energy, because when you get one that's in your masculine when he vibrates in his masculine energy, means he don't just say I'm the head because I'm the man, and he ain't shit, ain't got shit, don't do shit, pitiful. Okay, but he talked the talk and he walked the walk, and it is a lot of them out there. Okay, and so if somebody come and try to kick that door in, y'all might be laying in the bed, you don't even roll over. Girl, you ain't get up and roll over. Hell no, because he got that. He got that. I knew he had that. You have, because he always vibrating in that masculine energy. He take care of that. I love it when I be hearing women say, and they don't have men that are overpowering and controlling. They just masculine. Okay. I was listening to a girl on live one day, and she was selling this paparazzi jewelry, and she was like, her light was messing up. She said, I'm gonna have to talk to my husband. He gonna have to do something about this. This light ain't doing right. I said, go ahead, sister. She already knew the light wasn't doing right. My man gonna fix that. You got a lot of men. You can ask them. Listen, I just bought a printer. They're gonna look at them big bubble of fish eyes. I don't know how to do that. They don't even know how to hook the printer up. What you need him for? They don't change light bulbs. Their fingernails too long. Break my nail. You can get anybody to screw you. Because I'm gonna tell you something. You get a man that takes care of business like he's supposed to, the sex will be right too. Okay. You're gonna want to be up under them so much, their energy so masculine. You just want to be up under them. You get orgasms just sitting there looking at TV with him. Okay, just laying on him. I don't even know how some of these women get wet for some of these sorry ass men now. And women want to be, they've tried to step into a masculine energy. Okay, they want to take care of these men so that they can control them. They got low self-esteem. That's why I know any bitch that ever said that I tried to give them any type of money lying on me. I ain't never in my life had to do that. I ain't never tried to do it. Never will do it. Okay, it makes me mad every time I think about it. I'm gonna have to get away from that because I be thinking about doing some mean stuff when I think about a bitch lying on me. Okay. But a lot of women want to um they start showing everything they got. Men that got their own stuff don't care about what you got. Because they say, what kind of car you got? Where you live at? You need to be trying to run. He ain't got shit. Because when he got his own stuff, he don't worry about that. Okay. But a lot of women be wanting to show a man what they can do for them so that they can control them. They want them to be handicapped. And some of these men now more are becoming like such sissies. They want them to do it. They look for, let me find me a gal to take care of me. You's a bitch. Okay. These women need to start teaching their sons how to be men. And don't tell me if you're a single mama, you can't do it. Because single mothers have been raising men of valor since the beginning of time. That's just a cop out for your damn boy to be sorry. And I can't understand these men in their 40s and 50s came from a damn different era. Now they trying to jump on the bandwagon. I want to be like the YN. I want to be a sorry sissy too. You know you really assed out. Your dick don't work right. Nothing. Okay, you old, your back messed up, you got glaucoma, you got cataract and all that, and you got the nerve to want to be trying to use a woman. You can't even use yourself. You can't even use what you got. It don't work. And even if it was working, you want to get old and be sorry. You know, you can't even see where to put nothing no more. Ooh, don't get me down there just feeling. Because but ladies, you got to do better. Okay. You can't if he ain't already vibrating on your frequency, leave his ass where he at. Okay. Because if he old and sorry, that's a lost cause. Because at some point he should have decided somewhere between his 30s, his late 30s and early 40s, that he should have started telling himself, I am somebody. I am somebody. Okay. But instead, he's sorry. Now he broken up and sorry. Okay. And he trying to get you to use you. And after a while, you're gonna have to be changing his shitty diapers. Anyways, y'all, let me get off here. I got to cook. Anyways, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support this channel, you can support the channel. But yeah, listen, I've been drinking a little bit of my wine, but I'm dead serious about everything, okay, that I'm talking about. That's why I can sit and look over there at the damn Mississippi River and drink my good wine and be happy. Okay. All right. Anyways, you guys, I love you all. Y'all have a good day.